We're going to begin tonight with breaking news as former President Donald Trump pleads not guilty to more than 30 charges. Here's a live look over New York City, where Trump faced a judge just hours ago. And right now, the former president is heading back to his home in Florida. He's expected to speak later on tonight about those charges.
Mr. Trump's indictment detailing business fraud charges was unsealed just hours ago. He's accused in a scheme to protect his reputation by making false statements to cover up other crimes. 11 Alive's Joe Ripley joins us now with what happens next. Joe?
And this, of course, an historic first in American history. Trump's attorneys are expected to file motions to dismiss his case here, and it could be several months before a trial in New York could potentially begin. Former President Donald Trump heads back to his home at Mar-a-Lago, making history. He's now the first president to ever face criminal charges. The indictment from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office lists 34 counts of falsifying business records, all felonies, all tied to $130,000 in hush money paid to adult film star Stormy Daniels.
These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg will try and prove Trump orchestrated a scheme between August 2015 and December 2017 in an attempt to conceal other crimes and ultimately influence the 2016 election. Trump pleaded not guilty in court Tuesday, and his attorneys say a state prosecutor should not bring charges tied to federal statutes against the former president.
While everyone is not above the law, no one's below it either. And if this man's name was not Donald J. Trump, there is no scenario we'd all be here today. Please understand that based on these charges.
Emory University political science professor Dr. Andra Gillespie says none of Trump's legal cases should impact his ability to run in 2024.
Being, charged with a crime is not disqualifying. He could still run for president. He could even still run for president with a conviction.
Mr. Trump also faces investigations in Florida and right here in Georgia tied to possible interference in the 2020 presidential election, plus classified documents and the January 6th insurrection.
And Joe, I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions, but one that we are hearing is, could these other legal battles, including the investigation here in Georgia, impact this case in New York?
Yeah, good question. So I spoke with some legal experts. They tell me that this case in New York actually stands alone. It's separate, so it won't necessarily have any effect on the cases here in Georgia or in Florida, D.C., but we're already seeing on both sides of the political aisle, Republicans, Democrats, trying to capitalize on this historic first former president being criminally charged. So that might impact the 2024 presidential cycle.
That is something a lot of us will certainly be paying attention to and watching. And again, this is just one of the cases against former President Donald Trump.
So right here in Fulton County, DA Fani Willis is investigating possible interference in the 2020 election right here in Georgia. 11 Alive's Faith Jesse's in the studio right now with what we need to know locally about this case.
Yeah, Ron, so we have brought all of you all through this step since the start in 2020, when then President Donald Trump called Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to urge him to find more than 11,000 votes to prevent Trump's narrow loss. So following that, a special grand jury formed to look into the call and other alleged criminal interference. So just last month, the former president's attorneys filed a motion attempting to quash the grand jury's report. And according to NBC News, the report recommends at least 12 people be indicted for their actions. Now, the details of who and what involved remains private. So here's the question. What's next in that case? Well, right now we're in a holding pattern. It's now up to the DA Willis to decide if she wants to take the recommendations from the special purpose grand jury and pursue criminal charges. This would work similarly to the case that we're seeing in New York right now. She would need for Trump to be indicted by a regular grand jury to face those charges. And in the meantime, the special purpose grand jury's report doesn't kick off the legal process. It's just a recommendation.
All right, Faith, thanks a lot. Right now, you can stay up to date on both the case in New York and also in Fulton County on former President Donald Trump. Just go to 11alive.com.